So good afternoon, everybody. Hi, good afternoon, good morning. This is practically afternoon now. It's almost 12 o'clock. So we just get started. My name is Deepthi. I'm Dr. Deepthi Verma. On behalf of VLCC, wish you all a very happy, Guru Purnima. It is also since we are all up from institutes, and very happy to be with all of you on a very different kind of a topic that we have not really heard about a lot, and that's circadian rhythm, and which is very, very important in today's time. So let's just get started on this very interesting and a very new topic. So we all know that we have a time, wherein we start feeling sleepy in the evenings. There are times when the body gets exhausted. There are times when we have a peak energy levels. There are times when our body starts getting, ready for a high metabolism early in the morning. So there are times when, the digestive ability of the body is really high. So that is what is known as the biological clock. So we have an internal clock in our body, which is called the biological clock, and that is what the circadian rhythm is all about. So when we talk about the circadian rhythm, it is that internal clock that sets and optimizes all the bodily processes, like all the cells, each and every cell of the body. Almost like you could say that 10% of our genes which are there, each and every cell in the nucleus, are regulated by this circadian rhythm, which is the clock. And this in turn is related to a master clock, which is there in the brain. So the master clock which is there, it is there in the hypothalamus part of the hindbrain. So we all know about the hypothalamus, which is there behind the brain in the, just above the brain stem. And that is where we have a section, which is specially called suprachiasmatic nucleus. So which is SCN, and this SCN part of the hypothalamus, this is our master clock that governs this biological clock of the circadian rhythm. So and this clock actually is so affected by light. So hence the light and day pattern of the universe is what guides the bodily processes and the functions of the body. So that's the whole idea behind talking about this, is that we have to always follow the rhythm of the light and day. So even the photosensitive retina, which is there of course in the eyes, that gets affected by the light that's coming in from the environment. Okay, so together they govern all the bodily processes of the body. Say feeling hungry, the eating pattern, the respiratory cycle, the way the muscles get made in the body. So everything is governed by the sleep cycle, which is the sleep wake up cycle as we call it, is equal to the circadian rhythm. Okay, so when the sun rises in the morning, that is the time the light is maximum. So the natural light that comes in on the hypothalamus is what stimulates the body processes of the body. So people who are still sleeping when the morning natural light comes, they will have disturbed circadian rhythm. So it's very important for us to have an optimized kind of a circadian rhythm, and that's what we see so many chronic diseases, because that actually gets affected by an irregular circadian rhythm or unsynchronized circadian rhythm. So in the night, what happens is that when the light goes dim, that is the natural light goes dim, sometimes we are in the strong light indoors. So when that strong light is there indoors, that like the LED lamps or high watt bulbs, so that actually affects the hypothalamus, the SCN of the hypothalamus. In turn, that keeps our body awake, and we will have a very disturbed sleep cycle. Okay, so hence it becomes very important, for us to be sleeping a little after the sunset, and to have lights very, very low, and to also be off the electronic devices and the gadgets, because that's not something, that is going to give us good bodily processes. All the physiological processes actually get disturbed when we are in a very high light, or we are hooked on to the electronic devices during the night time, especially an hour before we go to bed. So all the restorative actions of the body and everything, which is all the repairs and maintenance, all those processes of the body happens in the first part of our sleep, where we have to be in the deep sleep. So from about 11 o'clock to say 2 o'clock in the morning is the time when we are in deep sleep. You should be in deep sleep, and that is when the circadian rhythm actually sets into motion all the repair and maintenance work of our body. Even if there's an illness, the antibodies get made and they fight against the pathogens and the germs and the bacteria attacking us from outside. And even though we worked out in the morning, but our new muscle cells would be made almost like at the time of the circadian rhythm. I mean, according to that, they would be made in the first part of the sleep. So the digestion and the hormone synthesis all happens as per the circadian rhythm. Now, if you do not have a good sleep and a wake up cycle, everything goes for a toss in the body. And we will see that the digestion gets hampered. We will have problems like bloating and acidity and different kind of issues. So all those also get affected, and also the respiratory cycle, the circulation of the cells, and the various synthesis processes that happens in the body, the immunity, everything gets affected if we do not have a good sleep or a wake up cycle. Okay, so hence waking up early in the morning becomes very important to us, because the natural light that falls on our body in the morning, that actually induces a good circadian rhythm, which in turn helps in great physiological functions of the body, and all the processes fall into place. So haven't we seen two conditions like jet lag, and another could be the shift workers? So when they have that kind of a schedule, we normally see that they have a lot of problem. They have insomnia. They are not able to go to sleep on the right time. They have a lot of digestive issues. They also have mental, issues, like they develop bipolar disorder or depression or anxiety or a lot of mood swings. All that is because of the disturbed circadian rhythm. So when we actually jet lag and when we go to another city, another country, where the morning evening pattern is different from the country we've been living all this while, we see that, the light that falls on them, which has been falling, every day at say 6 or 7 in the morning, now comes around and falls them at about 4 of their country, say 4 p.m. of their country. So obviously that actually confuses the body, and it leads to many degenerative problems in the body, and also leads to chronic problems and a disturbed sleep cycle. So of course now that person stays here for about 2 months and goes back to his or her country, and then again the body has to adapt to a different kind of a sleep cycle and the light patterns, and we see the different kind of the circadian rhythm has to reset again. So constant resetting becomes very difficult for the body clock to actually keep pace with. So very important. So there are certain points I would like to give to you to set in the right kind of circadian rhythm. So very important, first is that try and wake up with the sun. Get some sun in the morning every day, and if the sun is not directly falling on you also, you can be there in the sunlight, which is all right, in the light that comes because of the morning natural sun. So that is how we will see that it actually optimizes the circadian cycle and sets all our physiological processes into motion in the right and the balanced way. So that's like number one, very important. The second one is to get some exercise every day, because that's also very important, okay? Because getting some exercise also helps in setting up the circadian rhythm right. Okay, so that's like even if it is 40 minutes of exercise per day, or say 30 minutes if you cannot make it to 40 minutes. So it can be a brisk walk, it can be a run, it can be anything to where your body moves a lot, because that is going to help you to balance the physiological processes of the body. And try and stick to the same sleep schedule every day. So that is also imperative, because then you don't have to reset your circadian cycle or the circadian clock every time. So when you sleep at the same time, once in a while it's okay, like one day in a week or something, if you're sleeping a little late or earlier, then it is all right. But by and large, stick on to a scheduled sleep cycle. So like once in a week, every day, try. It's all right to kind of just array, because your body actually resets on the next day if it is a very short term fluctuation. But in a longer term, it becomes difficult. So at least 6 days in a week, try to stick on to the same sleep time, okay, which could be 10 o'clock, it could be 10:30, it could be 11 o'clock. So when you stick to that, you see that your bodily processes also start getting into, like the insulin sensitivity and the cholesterol management in the body, or the oxidation of fat. So all that also sets into pace and it gets optimized. So that was, and the next one, very important, is to keep off artificial lights as much as possible in the evening. So especially after the sunset, try and be in a little dim light, because that is not the time, when our body needs a very strong light, and especially when it is an artificial light, because it will never do good to us. And as it is, we spend most of our day in front of our gadgets, like the cell phone light or the laptop light or the LED lights in the houses, or the television, the rays that gets emitted from the television. So all these electronic devices, there's a word for it, it's called the blue light. So the blue light actually, triggers and stimulates the brain cells, and for that person to have a good sleep cycle and to have a good circadian rhythm is going to be very, very difficult. As a result, he will start having other problems in the body, like as I told, that insulin sensitivity will get disturbed, the digestive abilities are going to get disturbed, the muscle synthesis, the oxidation of the fat, everything is going to get affected because of that. So hence, to keep off the gadgets, especially for the last 1 hour before going to bed. So if you go to bed, say at 10:30 every day, stick on to that timings. 15 minutes here and there is all right, that's never a problem. But by and large, try and be off gadgets. There should be no blue light that should emit from the electronic device that you use just before the sleep. So 1 hour before sleeping, you can try and read. It can be a print read. Then you see that your sleep cycle is also reset, and the other problems in the body also starts getting jaded off. So print read is absolutely okay, but nothing where light gets emitted. So then it's not just this, it's also people start reversing diabetes mellitus gradually, and the other physiological problems like cardiovascular disorders and the acidity and bloating and things like that, and even the mental depression, bipolar disorder, anxiety, mood swings. So that also starts falling into place, and they start reversing with the passage of time. Okay, so becomes very important to actually do that. And another very important point is that avoid caffeine, because caffeine is again something that disturbs the circadian rhythm. So caffeine, especially after say 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock in the evening, try and avoid that, because that disturbs with any activity which is there in the brain. So बहुत ज़रूरी होता है कि आप कैफीन और चाय और ये सारी चीज़ें 5 बजे के बाद नहीं लें, because it will definitely disturb with your sleep cycle. So this is how we have to be. So when we take these important points into consideration, then you can actually, getting into the trap of having degenerative illnesses, premature aging, बाल झड़ते हैं, premature wrinkles जब आती हैं, and all those things. Okay, so some of you have asked the question about intermittent fasting. So intermittent fasting का तो हम workshop लेते हैं live, and we can talk about it a little later. So what is intermittent fasting? Of course, that I can tell you. So, but let me just wrap up with this, because there are so many questions that are coming around. So yes, circadian rhythm. So quick points, let us recap from today's session. It's not a very long thing, but very difficult to actually get into the practice. So we better get into the practice of this if we want a long-term health, and we don't want to age at the rate at which we are aging right now. Okay, so very important thing that circadian rhythm जो होती है, so circadian का मतलब होता है round the day. So it's a 24-hour clock which is guided by the light and day that happens naturally in the nature. Right? With that force of nature, your body is actually aligned. That's why we're sleepy in the night. Okay? So there is, of course, an endocrine gland called hypothalamus, which is there in the hindbrain. From there, there is HCM, which releases, which is suprachiasmatic nucleus, which basically is influenced by light. It's mediated by the effect of light, the natural light more so, and if it is artificial light also. So that gets affected by the light, because of which all the physiological functions of the body, they get guided. And if we do not follow optimal circadian rhythm pattern, that is the light and the day pattern, then it becomes difficult for us to have effects on the bodily processes and reverse the aging and the different medical problems that we have. Okay, so then there are certain things that I told you, tips, that firstly, try and wake up by the sunrise and get some natural light. The second is to exercise a bit every day, and then stick on to the same sleep schedule. Not just sleep, you should also try and stick on to the same eating pattern and the time that you eat your food at, so that your circadian rhythm sets in optimally. And a very important thing, be off gadgets for the last 1 hour. Any electronic device where the light comes in on the face. Okay, and so that also we have to avoid as much as possible. You can go back to print read or whatever you want to do in the night, but you have to be off and keep the lights in the room dim, because till the time the lights are very high in your rooms, you will not be able to have a good sleep pattern and even the other physiological process, because then the circadian cycle gets disturbed. So this is about the circadian rhythm. And we'll talk about some other new topic next time. So now we can talk about, so what about sunlight coming through glass windows? It is useful, yes. So if the sunlight is coming in your house through the windows or through the glass windows, even then the hypothalamus in the morning will get activated, and you will have a good circadian rhythm. Okay, so can artificial light, yes, artificial light, if you use too much, that is going to disturb your circadian rhythm, because it is only in this new age world that we use so much of light in the night, and we sleep so late, and we are not following the sunrise and sunset pattern anymore. So we will definitely have problems. So artificial light is not very good, because if artificial light is on for a very long duration in the evenings after the sunset, because it's dark, obviously we're using the artificial light, it disturbs the circadian rhythm, and it will give us deranged physiological processes and good physical and mental health. It won't. So yes, it is harmful for sure. Okay, so this is tips for hyperthyroidism. So we are talking about circadian rhythm and health, so let's stick on to that only. So little bit about intermittent fasting. I think it's a question that had come on all our Facebook and Instagram live. So intermittent fasting basically is good or bad. It's very difficult to say, because it's very dependent on the patient who is taking it. So intermittent fasting is fasting intermittently, that is in a cycle, so it's a periodic fasting. And it's like you have an eating window and you have a fasting window. So the eating window is, say, if you can choose your eating window, it can be 12 to 8 or it can be 11 to 7. So about 8 hours of the eating window you have, whereas you can have a good 2 full meal and you can have 2 snack meals. Khana pura hota hai, the calories are optimal in that 8 hour of eating window, and rest of the time you are on the fasting. So we normally people use it when they have to make muscles, because it actually stimulates muscle synthesis and also fat loss. So oxidation of fat gets optimized. It happens good when you are on the fasting period. So yeah, it is in every way good for the body, but of course we have to reconsider the physiological status of the person, and there are certain illnesses and the chronic disorders that do not go well with intermittent fasting. So we'll have to actually, but if you all your body processes are okay and you have a great health, you can go for IF or intermittent fasting. But start with something like 10 hours of the eating window instead of 8 initially, because 8 might get very extreme, you know, to begin with. So to begin with, go in for a 10-hour of eating window. So 10 to, you know, whatever, 10 hours. You can start at 8 o'clock, you can start at 10 o'clock, 9, whatever. You can choose your 10 hours of eating window. Rest of the time you have to be in fasting, and you have to not take any carbohydrates that time, and you have to be in a lot of fluids. So that is what works well. Okay, so the next question is, will sunlight from glass help in synthesizing vitamin D? Yeah, sunlight from glass, as long as it's sunlight, it will. But why not go out into the open and take it? I mean, we all have balconies, we all have verandas. You can go on the road, and why don't we take a good walk in the morning? So that way everything, you know, vitamin D we get, our bone gets stronger, the RBCs get made, the bodily processes get optimized. So everything is a win-win situation when we go for a good walk in the morning. And of course the circadian rhythm is also reset and it gets optimized. So very important for us to take exercise, because even to reset the good circadian cycle, it's very important for us to actually go for a good walk and to take the natural sunlight, which was point number 1 and 2 when I had mentioned to you a while ago. So it's always advisable to go for a brisk walk, to go for a run, to go for whatever. You can do your Surya Namaskar or yoga, but that has to happen in the natural light. So if you're doing it in the natural light, it's better. But yeah, if you want to do it in the evening because you cannot do it in the morning, then it's another story altogether, because something is better than nothing. But yeah, advice is always to do that early in the morning, as early as possible. So that's what it is like. So tingling in the extremities. Okay, it just could be because of so many reasons. If you have tingling sensation in the body, it could be because of the vitamin D deficiency. It could be because of the vitamin B12 deficiency. It can be because of your nerves not being able to, because it actually comes in from the nerves. So it also could be because of the calcium deficiency. So there are many reasons for tingling. Okay, so it could be because you're going wrong in your insulin sensitivity, because when people become diabetic, then also they have this kind of physiological response. So in any which way, it will be, you know, there'll be tingling in the body. So you can get yourself tested for vitamin B12 and vitamin D3 and FBS, which is the fasting blood sugar. Okay, can sunset help in vitamin D synthesis? Sunset light. Okay, so it's better to take the morning light, no? I mean, this is what I've always been telling in all my sessions. Always better to take the morning light of the sun. Okay, so at sunset there's barely any light. Okay, so you can enjoy the sunset for sure. That is the time when your body slips into the relaxation and the recreational mode, and you have to be easy on your body. After sunset, body does not need any kind of a strong, you know, like reactions in the body. You don't have to do anything which is hyperthermic. You don't have to work out. You don't have to gym after the sunset. You don't have to eat a lot of food after the sunset, because even eating and digestion is a lot of hyperthermic activity. So you don't have to do all that after the sunset. You have to be in the dimmer lights. You have to be in the recreational, restful stage, so that you have a good restorative sleep and a good sleep, so that all your body processes falls into place. So that is how it is. So after the sunset is the time when you have to be easy on all the functions of the body, not just workouts. And vitamin D synthesis may not be possible. It will not be possible after the sunset and during the sunset. So in monsoon, sunlight is low. What do we need for this, and how to improve the circadian rhythm? So I didn't speak about being directly under the sun. I spoke about being in a natural light. Okay, so even when there are clouds, there is a natural light in the morning which actually affects your circadian rhythm. So it's absolutely okay if the sunlight, as in the yellow light of the sun, is not falling on your body. If that falls, nothing like it, okay? But if it's not falling, then, you know, the natural light itself regulates the circadian rhythm. There's nothing to worry about. Yeah, so that becomes very important as long as you wake up early in the morning and you take the natural light. Okay, but try and be outdoors as much as possible. Of course, glass windows thing is there, but try and be outdoors directly under the natural light. Even if you're in the balconies or something, it's okay. Or you can have your doors and windows opened of the house in the morning, so that the natural light can flow in, because the sunlight also comes with lots of benefits. Yes, so the question is, can vitamin D deficiency get the weight stuck? Yes. So weight loss is directly connected to the vitamin D deficiency. Immunity is connected to the vitamin D deficiency. Your brain health is connected to the vitamin D deficiency. So please get your vitamin D tested and have it anywhere over and above 50 if it is possible, and anything which is low is going to give you problems with many other physiological reasons also. It's not just for weight or for immunity. So this is the reason when COVID had happened, and the first thing people had actually, they were advised is to go in for the vitamin D supplement, because that is what actually like increased immunity in the body. So the next question is, best time in the morning to get the sun. When the sun rises, as early as possible. That is when your metabolism is highest, and it remains high till about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Okay, so any time when you can, as early as possible, try and get the sun and try and get the natural light, because when we have a great circadian cycle, you will see that your mental health is amazing, your physical health is also very good. We will not have the chronic diseases, we will not have degenerative diseases, and our mind is going to be sharp and alert, and we will not be the victim of mood swings. Yeah, so it has to be as early as possible at the time of sunrise, nothing like it, because circadian rhythm asks us to go to sleep. Okay, it asks us to go to sleep by about 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock, nothing later than that. Then we will have problems with our physiological processes. And melatonin, which is the sleeping hormone that actually gives a good, nice, peaceful sleep, that also would not release optimally. So when melatonin is not releasing optimally, that's directly getting guided by the hypothalamus. The circadian cycle, that directly affects melatonin hormone. So obviously we will have a disturbed sleep, and when we have a disturbed sleep, everything goes for a toss in the body, and we'll start having premature aging and chronic degenerative illnesses. So that's what it is about. So then the next question is how to increase testosterone in male. By working out. So that is like, whether it's you're a male or a female, if you want to increase your, females also want more testosterone, right? Because testosterone, like when you have a good amount of testosterone, you're going to have a less fat weight, and you will have increased muscle synthesis. So whether it's a female or a male, both the genders would have all three hormones, whether it's estrogen, progesterone and testosterone. They are present in a female body also. Of course, the dominant one is going to be estrogen and progesterone in a female, but they also need testosterone, right? So how will muscle synthesis happen otherwise? I think females also want a very nice toned body, shapely bodies. They don't want to have a lot of sagginess because of the fat weight. So we need an increased testosterone for that. And in the male body, of course, testosterone is the dominant hormone. So in either case, a great workout every day and a good, strength training workouts really would work well to increase the testosterone levels. So yeah, that is one way to actually increase a good testosterone. And also please reset and work on the good circadian rhythm. I mean, there's so many cases I have seen personally where people had disturbed menstruation cycle and problems of infertility, and when they actually reset the circadian cycle, everything fell into place and they conceived, and they also started having the regular periods or the menstrual cycle. So it is directly having a big impact on our endocrinal system as well, or on the release of the hormones. So hence it becomes very important. So the next question is not really related to circadian rhythm, but it's gluten bad. So I can have a question and answer session for all of us, separately on Zoom for all the other questions that you all have, because we're receiving so many questions. But yeah, if gluten is bad, it's not bad at all. We've forever been having gluten, and gluten is the protein which is present in wheat. Like all the other proteins, this is one of the proteins which is present in the wheat flour, and wheat is a staple cereal that we have in India. So in the form of rotis, chapatis, or whatever different kind of breads that we have. So no, it can never be bad for the body. yes, it's slightly inflammatory. I mean, like, so, but then, yes, when you have a good gut health, you should not worry about having gluten. You can continue having so it is only in certain clinical problems, that we may avoid giving you gluten, where we want to have, you want you to have a good gut health. So those are the only cases where we may tell you to lessen your gluten amount, but by and large, you can please continue taking it every day. It's a good protein to have. Okay, so that's about it. I mean, there are lots of questions which are coming in. So, okay, how to cure hair fall post COVID? You'll have to be on supplement, because in COVID, actually, the problem is so vitamins and minerals, which are the micronutrients, have to be supplied on a daily basis. So we have to actually supplement ourselves, because during COVID, we've had a severe deficiency of the macros and micros. So you have to go back to eating right, eating a healthy, well-balanced diet, try to eat a lot of sprouts, be on a lot of fruits and vegetables. Of course, you can try and eat chena, which is घर में जो फाड़ के प्रोटीन बनाते हैं, पनीर बनाते हैं, आप वो खा सकते हो. वो बहुत ज़्यादा हेल्दी होता है. And other than that, of course, like if you are not a very obese person or overweight person, you can have fruit juice at least about 2 glasses in a day, because that will give you concentrated amount of vitamins and minerals. So you can take care of that and be on supplement basis your diet. I mean, like, it's a very generic question, can't really answer, because any dietary recommendation is always very customized as per the person. Okay, so in a generic manner, it's very difficult to actually say. But yeah, these are the things. And then of course have nuts, very important for us to have zinc, selenium, biotin, and a good quality protein and a good omega-3 fat. So all of these are contained in one single food part, which is nuts and dry fruits. So please have that on a regular basis. Of 1/5 of it is the amount we give in one day. So have that regularly, and I'm sure that your problem is going to get sorted gradually. Yeah, so we'll just have to say bye for now. So thank you so much for all your interest. So we'll come up next Friday with some nice interesting topic based on your feedbacks that we get. And you can write in a lot, like anything that you'd like to hear on. We can bring that topic to you through our Instagram Live and Facebook Live. And we'll try and address most of your questions on the session related to the topic. So the other questions, of course, you're going to answer over Zoom calls that we have every week. And so thank you so much. And please follow the circadian rhythm is my advice for the day. Try and wake up early, go to sleep early. As I always say, early to bed, early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy and wise. So I think a circadian rhythm or a circadian cycle has a lot to do with it, okay? Because early to bed and early to rise actually resets and optimizes the circadian rhythm, which further is taking care of all the other physical processes in the body, and not just physical, great physical and mental health. Okay, so it has been reported that people generally who suffer from depression, anxiety, mood swings, bipolar disorder, they all have a disturbed sleep cycle, a disturbed circadian rhythm. So time to actually spread the word around and let people know about a great sleep cycle, so that we can have great bodily functions. And we are here to enjoy the best of health, because health is wealth actually. Okay, so eat right and live right is what my advice is. So thank you so much for being so patient and listening and coming around every Friday. So bye for now.